harvest the seed and then cultivates it or whatever it does all at the same time. I used to think it was an airplane to do. Yeah, there's still got it right. It's the Snake River out there. Boy, there's much water in the Snake River.
Canadian Pacific Railway. Been down this road many, many times, Greg.
Many. Actually, asked Kelly on all over us today. We're all over, he went to the Mint. And he had it pretty. What's up with this road? Look pretty good. Here.
Just drive over here.
Park right up there. Oh. Oh, dead mouse.
I was gonna go ring the bell and I went, ah.
See, they're good people too. They go to church.
Who ring the bell?
Got a video of the dead mouse.
Looks pretty dead to me. Yeah.
So, but I assume that he's less than 7 days old, right?
Oh. It's just like yesterday, huh? It's just like we should have been here on Sunday.
Yeah, that's the original church, and that was built across the road,
Where the cemetery
and it
is.
burnt down, and then they built this church. Right?
Yeah. Where did we used to sit? Right back in here. Somewhere in.
That's when I was baptized in that. And we used to do communion, you'd have to come up here and then wait, and then you would kneel here, and then he'd walk along and give you your bread and wine or whatever, so you had to kind of go. And the Sunday school would sing over here.
Is that scary?
way. Let's see. The football field is over here.
And you know something, Graham? They had the same bus driver, Kent, Kelly, and Kimberly, had the same bus driver all the years they went to high school and grade school. One bus driver through all those years.
And Grandpa and Grandma were married in this church.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, we were married in that church.
Grandma forgets all the time.
Mhm.
And that's
The
the
football field looks nice.
Hmm?
The football field looks nice.
Oh yeah. They're still quite sports minded. They're still pretty sports minded. We took a picture in that church by the altar. That altar that we were married at is the cross part of it is still there.
Oh yeah, you did that.
Huh?
Yeah, you did do that. I was gonna say you did that for your like 60th wedding anniversary, but that's right now. So, I mean, we're not, but you did. Well, it's on some anniversary.
There's a
Proven, Argyle, Minnesota. You know what? I was actually born. I was born and raised here. Let's see, my parents, my dad, he was born and raised here. And my mom actually came from the Milwaukee area. So Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so I've been here my whole life. Well, it was a fun, I remember it as a fun time with being able to, in a small town, so you're able to run around, people didn't lock their doors, we kind of lived by the whistle. They have the whistle that goes off at noon, and then you knew, okay, when the whistle goes off, time to go home for lunch. And then again at nighttime, they'd have the whistle go off, and then you knew, oh, by that time, everybody needs to be home. It was a pretty free, fun time. We could do a lot of exploring, a lot of bike riding, a lot of just running around town, hanging with our friends. That's kind of what I remember my childhood. I am a first grade teacher, first grade elementary teacher. And I've been doing this for 26 years. I am 49 years. Ooh, teaching. I think sometimes I hear people say, oh, you're teaching 2 + 2. How hard is that? Well, it's not actually what we're teaching. Especially, I feel also maybe things get pushed as they're younger and younger. So now when I get first grade, when I first started, I would teach first graders how to read. And now a lot of times they're coming to me and they already know how to read. So we kind of had to really change with our curriculum and with our teaching styles. The kids do not sit as well as they used to. They do not, their coordination, probably a lot of technology now and not as much writing and cutting. So we have to do a lot of work with that, handwriting, cutting, coloring. We really have to work tying shoes. When we came to school, everybody by kindergarten, you know, that was one thing, you needed to know how to tie your shoe before you went to first grade. There's a lot of kids who struggle with tying shoes and zipping, buttoning, things that I guess when we were younger, we were able to do. So it kind of surprises me that way. So I think sometimes people misunderstand that it's a lot more than just teaching and academics. It's so much more of the, those life skills that we do with the kids. And I think more and more mental health has become an issue. So a lot of, when I was in school, it was always, you had 2 parents at home. And now a lot of kids might be living with grandparents, might be living with one parent, might be living with a foster family. So that has really changed. We are consolidated with Stephen, which is 10 miles down the road from us. And so I did teach in the Stephen school for, I don't know how many years I was there, 3 or 4 years. But otherwise, I think we're pretty lucky. We just don't seem to have like the discipline issues. And we have a lot of the families we know really well. So the contact with the families we have a lot of contact with our families. And we have a lot of families who have moved back, who have actually gone to school here themselves and then moved away and then have come back now. So I would have to say we have a really good group of close-knit community and families. And I think we are pretty lucky. I mean, the people that we work with and the kids and the families that we have, I think it would be a lot harder in a big school because you don't know the people as well, and you have a lot more, I'm sure, issues and that going on. Not that we don't, we have some too, but I'd have to say, like I said, we're pretty blessed.
So do you like living in a small town like Argyle?
I love it. I love living here. I love going and traveling and visiting other places, but it's always best coming home. I love being out in the country, taking my dogs for walks, having lots of cats, my animals. Just the open. It's so open and beautiful, and I did live, when I went to college, I was in the bigger towns, Fargo, Moorhead area, and I remember every weekend can't wait to go home just to be in that small town community. I think sometimes I think of us as maybe Hicks or from the sticks, and maybe not as maybe well-rounded as the people in the city, but I also think they think of us as, I think they realize what a close-knit group, the community, and how maybe, the freedoms that we do have, just because, like I said, we don't always lock our doors or even our cars, and still have the whistles going off.
A tornado?
Nope, 6 o'clock,
Okay.
supper time. The whistles are still going off here, so we know it's supper time. So yeah.
What do you think of like the younger generation, like the people that you have been teaching? What do you think is going to be the difference between them and your generation?
Oh, well, definitely technology is a much bigger part of their lives. Definitely. And it's just I think the contact with people, they have more contact with their phones and technology, those skills of the communication, the personal skills. They struggle with that a little more, with the one-on-one. They're so used to just texting or snapping or using their Instagram. And even the young kids too, we really have to work on the eye contact, handshaking. We have to really work on those skills. It doesn't come as natural, I think, as was when we were young. Sometimes I think of them maybe as fast-paced, move really fast. Going from place to place. I know when I'm driving in the cities, I feel like I'm getting honked at and I'm maybe not moving fast enough.
Sorry.
Just a faster pace than here, and maybe more, like I say, I know they have more opportunities, so sometimes you feel like maybe they have a little advantage in some ways, that way, because it's so much easier for them to get things than here. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I'd say they're more hardworking, but maybe have to do sometimes more just because we don't have as many people to cover things, or it's hard to find people to work that, so you end up working, hey, well, you might be a teacher, but then you're also coaching, and then you're also helping out with food shelf, and then you're also teaching religion at the church, just because we don't have as many people to do those jobs. So you end up doing a lot of other things too, not just your one job. There's poverty, homelessness. We don't obviously have people who are living on the street, but we do have people who are really struggling. But I also know that our churches and community do the best they can to make sure that everyone has a place to live, food to eat, and if they know they need things, they will get that to them, if whatever they do need. But sometimes it's just they have to make sure that they ask, and some people are very proud and don't want to. I don't, but my kids might. Sometimes they'll say that, like, Mom, I'm bored, or I want to go to Grand Forks, or I want to do this, but myself, I don't think it is. I love it. I love the peace, the quiet, the slower pace. Myself, I love that, being close to nature, but sometimes my kids, I'll hear that. Gosh, I don't know. don't know. I guess our town revolves a lot around sports. So winning state championships is big here. Anytime we have a big storm, a tornado, or anything like that, so that's always big. Weather is big news because we have a lot of farmers here. Fire, when our elevator was on fire, we had the apartment started on fire. That's big news here too. But I guess I'm not sure what the most interesting thing. I'm not sure. Well, I guess there's probably a couple important. I remember some of those elementary years when you're just learning the fundamentals and the heart of things. And then, of course, when you get your high school years and you're really developing those friendships and the skills for the rest that you're going out on your own. And then, when you're in that finding your spouse and having kids, that was huge. It's a huge time here. Getting my first job, and those were all really, really big points in my life.
How do you think just living in general and just having fun is different from a small town to a big town like St. Paul or something?
Oh, I'm sure like when we say we're hanging out, we might just go driving around on some of the country roads. You have a lot of people who are just out driving around checking crops here, hanging out. Hanging out might mean just going to the local cafe and catching up on some of the talk in town. Going to someone, there are a lot of times people have just a little gathering at their house, go hang out at their house. And yeah, you'll see a lot of vehicles just meet on the road and stop. They're parked on the road and they'll just stop and talk to each other, and people are always just, I think, probably more person to person, do a lot of talking with people when they just stop on the road, like, hey, you see someone, and you go over and you start talking to them. You meet them at the grocery store and you stop and you talk to them. And driving on the road, I stop many times on the road and stop and talk to people when I'm driving, because in a small town, you're not going to have traffic. You don't have to worry about traffic people coming, and if they do come up behind you, they usually go around you because they know you're going to sit and talk for a while. So that's a fun part, just about hanging. Sometimes I think safety-wise, I like the small town, and it makes me maybe more comfortable just knowing that I feel, because if something happens, I hear about it right away. Word travels fast in a small town. So in the bigger city, I always get a little nervous when I bring my kids there. I'm just more nervous. I'm always like, no, you make sure you stay together and don't let anyone go off on their own. And where here, I'm just like, yeah, you're going that way, you're going that way, you're going that way, and it's okay. So I guess for me, safety-wise, I like it. My kids, of course, would like to experience the city life. And I think you're always kind of want to know what you don't have, what it's going to be like. And I know I lived in Fargo-Moorhead for 5 years, and I knew then that I was not a city person.
All right. What's your name?
Lawrence Donald Valrud.
Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Oslo, Minnesota.
How did you get to Oslo, Minnesota?
I was born right here in town.
Well, that's true, but when you compare it,
How was
Were you?
compare it to Seth, yeah.
At the old house over here? That's where most of them were, you know. There's an old house here.
Wiltrot or something.
No, but when the doctor wasn't here, that lady
Oh, yeah.
and
What's that doctor's name?
Wiltrot.
Wiltrop.
Yeah.
Yep, Dr. Wiltrop. Delivered you to
It's weird because we watch, we get it by.
Oh, he was still living.
Watch out here, he's been parked on the other side of the
Yeah,
house.
he was. You go into his office, which was right on Main Street here, that little building, and walked in there, and the ether smell and all that is just so strong. From yeah.
Yeah, I remember getting an injection or shot for something when I was a kid from him. And I cried, and he cranky, you kind of cranky. He said, just bring it around. You know, and I was so scared. I remember that.
Then I was getting
Okay, next question.
How was your childhood?
It was really good. We had good parents where, you know, we had to do our work all the time, chores, everything, even go do our chores before we went to school, country school. Dad and Mom were, you know, very good parents.
I'm gonna go find Kitty and Larry and with them. I'm not
Respected them a lot. And
It was quiet. We got back here and it was Scott.
good bringing up.
How old are you?
I'm 81.
What did you do for work, or what do you do for work?
I just help out my son-in-law on the farm
Chad and Garrett were there.
and work on race cars and work on old tractors.
Yeah, but that's all it was. There was no one sitting at your table, so we sat there.
What did people misunderstand about your line of work, like being a farmer?
What people misunderstand?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if people misunderstand. I don't know how to answer that one.
What do people not get about being a farmer?
Oh,
Like if you're not a farmer.
Yeah.
I thought I was exaggerating what Bob was saying about
I think a lot of young ones don't realize what the farming really is, you know, where things come from. And
yes. Yeah.
so I think there's a lot of that people don't understand about agriculture.
Yeah, so when Mike were talking to me about that funeral on the phone. He's like,
Well, even some kids, you know, they don't even know where milk comes from, you know.
11 o'clock funeral. 11 o'clock funeral.
Yeah.
So give me a lunch. We're going to need it delivered. Oh, I can. But I said, see if it's
Do you like it here in Oslo?
Yes, it's a good community.
I just love that, Michelle.
Yeah.
So what time she delivered and I walked out and there's
How does it compare to like a city, like
figure out what door to go to. I go, I know.
Grand
She
Forks or
texted
something
me,
like
called
that?
me, what day,
I would never live in a city, or even when we went to Arizona, we picked a place where it was a smaller,
Was that at our Savior's?
I guess it's a city now, but it's growing so much, but we kind of picked a place where it wasn't crowded, and that's what we wanted.
How long have you been going to Arizona?
We went there in we went there in 1990 and built the house in the winter of 90 and 91. And a friend of mine, Steve Nelson, was the one that built the house, so we did it all together.
Why'd you go there?
Well, I guess the climate. Get away from.
And she won't even, it was much shorter than I thought you would.
What was the most interesting thing that's happened here in Oslo?
I said, well, see, and that's what I was thinking afterwards. I'm like, she probably.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I wondered about that too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just. I like small communities, and it's a good upbringing in a small community. You know.
Like when you go to the cafe or wherever here, you know everybody lives.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's different than the city.
What do you think that city folks get wrong about living in a small town like Oslo?
Ours, you know, I don't know what people like their lifestyle. I suppose the way they're growing up, and they got to be around, you know, everything that's in the cities, and I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't want to come to. But some people do now. They want to come to smaller towns, and
What do you think of the younger generation, like my generation?
I've seen a lot of not the work ethic that the younger ones had before, the way we grew up. And it's, you see, you know, there's families that are growing up that the young ones now are good workers and that, but not like it used to be. I mean, it's, well.
Do you ever feel lonely or isolated being in a small town?
No.
Is there any poverty here in Oslo?
Not really, no. You got some that's on welfare and stuff like that, you know. And pretty much they all are. There's a lot of, you know, migrants here that come here to work for farmers, and they all have jobs with farmers and cynics here and all that.
How do you think working as a farmer compares to working in like a normal office job?
Well, I could never do that, sit inside a building all day long, you know. Even some jobs I had in the winter months, being in a building steady at one machine, got kind of boring.
What were those jobs that you worked at in the winter?
Well, I had jobs to work in a milling machine, and so many different jobs like that, and worked in rubber factories, and you know, we had to, you know, when you're first married and that, you got to keep working, get the money coming in. And so a lot of people went to the bigger cities done in the winter months because there was a lot of jobs there. And you know, we'd go to California or something, you could get a job so quick and easy because when they come from this area, they wanted you because they know you were workers.
Work ethics were really good.
Yeah.
Do you think it's harder to get a job nowadays?
Well, no, they're looking for people. You know, everybody's looking for people to have a job. You know, even truckers and everything. It's just, you know, it's just everything.
Do you have any interesting stories working as like a farmer or even in like factories during the winter?
One place we worked at this rubber factory, we got to know the boss pretty good, and and he'd let us work double shifts. So we were making good money then, double shift, you know. But then the rest of the workers said that we were brown-nosing the boss. But they didn't want to work double shifts.
So how do jobs up north in Minnesota compare to jobs down south, like near the cities? Compare.
Well, you know, the money to be made is in the cities, you know, in jobs.
Chris and Jade showed up, and Milk and Sally stopped there on their way home, and then
I think that's it.
Paul and the
That's,
Yeah,
keep
they're
moving it up, you
Populations
know.
get interested.
Yeah, I know.
And all of a sudden I was hollering, move it up, move it up,
I know, they,
and
yeah,
he didn't
Just
hear me.
thinking.
yeah.
So I went there, and
That's
here
the
he's
best
on his
ones when
phone,
they're
you
just-
know.
Yeah.
Don't know with their teeth.
Yep,
So
yep.
I grabbed his phone and I acted like I threw it, you know, but I didn't, you know. He was good the rest of the day.
He hears.
Anyway, we got home and
Does he have hearing aids?
Grandpa got
Does he
mad
have
at
hearing
me, he
aids?
told his mother, you
They
know.
don't help
And then the mother
Richard
said,
just
well, he
got
must have had a
hearing
good
aids.
reason.
even I
And
could use
so
hearing
he
aids.
threw
And
my
I could
phone
get
too.
hearing aids. I from my experience
But
with
then
hearing
I
aids,
showed him, here's your phone, you
I don't really even want to get them.
No.
You made quite a point with him, though.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know, I really enjoy it.
Alright, I'm ready.
Okay.
With both of your names.
I'm Linda.
I'm Betty, Valerie.
Where are both of you from?
I'm from Oslo.
I'm from Savage, Minnesota.
How'd you get to where you are now?
How did we get to where we are now? How did you get to where you are now?
I moved off the farm and I came to the city of Oslo, Minnesota.
Well, I moved off the farm and moved closer to grandkids and kids and moved to the cities. But we did live our address in Argyle. But
So-
close to Betty. Betty and I have been friends for years.
Years, we belong to the same church and
Yeah.
I could tell Linda anything and she won't repeat it. I can
right.
even talk about my husband and she won't say
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. That's what we do.
She lies too.
They both do.
So you guys are both married farmers. What is it like living as a farmer's wife, or compared?
Well, there was a lot to keep your mind occupied, that's for sure, and keep busy.
Yeah, to raise the kids, run around with the kids, pack the lunch kits, run out in the field,
Yeah.
listen to them complain when something breaks down and just be happy.
Yeah. And then take care of the yard work and
Yes.
the garden, and yeah, it kept you busy. Good though.
How do you think like being married in the city compares to being married up north and being a farmer? As a woman, as a wife.
How it different of being living in the city.
Yeah. Like how does the role of being the wife compare from in the
Out in
city
the
to
farm?
up here? Yeah.
Okay. How about what do you find about living in the city versus the farm?
Well, this is just a small town. It's about 300 people probably, and he still is a farmer part-time, so he comes home and tells me all about it, and I just listen.
Yeah,
It's about the same.
in the big city, it's a lot different. Though. It's totally different. I would say it's probably more lonely actually in the city though, because you knew everybody out in the country where we lived, and here we don't. You know, in the city of Minneapolis, we don't know very few at all, except the kids that and the neighbor, a handful of neighbors, but that's about it.
And in a small town, you know too much about the neighbors.
Yeah,
you know
that's
everything that's going on, and they know everything about us, and that's not always good.
No.
The gossip gets pretty strong at the tables here.
It goes around pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Did you ever feel like I just want to be left alone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go hide in the sunflower.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go out in the field and hide.
So which one do you think is better, living in the big city or out here in a small
What was
town?
that?
Which one do you think is better, living in the big city or living in a small town like here?
We like the small town.
I think living out in the country on the farm is actually better all the way around. I don't know why, maybe because I was brought up on
What
the farm.
year does that go back to when the bank got
But
robbed?
I think living on the farm is a better
Yeah.
place to raise a family, really.
When they
Yeah.
dug a big hole in the
What's that?
side of the.
Huh?
Why do you think that's better?
They tore out the
The kids
bricks,
can
you
go out
know,
and play pretty much
went
in the
in
yard,
from,
and you don't worry about them. You don't
there.
worry about as
Oh,
much
that
about them on
yeah.
the farm.
There
They
was
could
a
have,
big
they could
hole,
raise
you know,
animals and learn to
and
take
they
care
got
of
into where the
pets
vault
and
was or
animals.
something.
More
What year
important life
was that
skills?
about?
Huh?
There's more important
I
life
don't know.
skills. More important life
I
skills.
think it would
Yeah,
have been
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
50s, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
So it's better to raise
I
a
remember
family.
Raise a
here.
family out on a
People
farm
talking
in the
about
country, I would
Yeah.
think.
How does it compare to like raising a family?
Stoughton had
in the city.
place that.
They're more involved in stuff that doesn't involve.
I didn't mean to throw that at you.
Oh, you.
I
Doesn't
promise.
involve, they're going off to basketball or, things like that, which you do on the farm too, but not as much. The parents are more active with the children because the parents are
Did they ever
always there on
catch
the
them
farm.
that,
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I don't know.
I can't remember.
What do you think of the younger generation, like my generation?
Some are good and some are very bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, there
Too
was
much
a bank that was robbed.
drugs and
Cheaper about the same
Yeah.
time or afterward.
a different influence now with the young
I
people.
don't know.
There's so much
Yeah,
influence, television and things, thinking they know everything.
and they're on the phone too much. They
Well,
don't go
when a
out.
teacher
Yeah.
out the
Yeah,
arm,
what do you think about the influence of the cell phone compared to our generation and your generation?
Oh, thank God.
The cell phone compared to when we were our generation, we didn't have a
Like the
phone.
Al Capone
you
days
just didn't
and-
know.
We didn't either.
No.
We had to holler across the field to get the neighbors to come over or walk over there.
Yeah. No, I think it's too much occupying with the phone with the young people, or with anybody that's got cell phone. I guess old and young. And it's not all good, but there are some good things on there too.
So do you think having kids and having them go on like phones is bad for them?
Yes.
Yeah,
But I do it, so
I do too. Well, that's even between Curtis and I, He'll be on his phone, I'll be on mine.
but it's a nice deal that you can look up anything.
Yeah, yeah.
quite amazing tool.
Yes.
It's a good tool.
So you both raised families out here in the small towns. How do you think that would compare if you raised them in like a big city like St. Paul and Minneapolis?
I think it's a lot better, but I never lived in the big city. Well, just in Lake Havasu, and that's pretty laid back.
I think comparing it to the city, on a farm, you can pretty much trust the neighbors that they look after your kids even. Where in the city, you wouldn't know any of the neighbors, you wouldn't want them keeping an eye on your kids so they know they're safe. We were kind of parents to everybody's kids on the farm.
Yeah. Especially
Believe
Kimberly.
what Betty let me get away with.
Stuff she put up with. And the stuff I put up with.
Do you ever feel trapped or isolated being in a small town?
No. I don't go out a lot because I'm handicapped, but I mean, I get invited for coffee and everything.
No, I don't feel isolated. Of course, you kids are all around me. It's like lots of activities. If it weren't for the kids and grandkids and drinking the kids, probably would be. I think there's a lot of people in the big city that feel isolated.
Our size family has grown to 43 now, and we just have 7 great grandbabies, so it's growing.
20, did you say?
7.
But how many total?
43.
If you're all got together.
Yeah.
Gee. That's pretty amazing. Pretty grateful. Well, 6 girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're lucky we got good son-in-laws.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we do too.
Yes.
Yes. Raising big, wonderful grandchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close it early? No. I don't know if I stayed in or if I went out.
Northern Roots Insurance. That's Elfie's old car.
Adam, you want a sticker. You can do what I'm doing. Yeah.
Dealer, local 835 Argyle. And is driven by John Argyle. King of the road trailer. Warrior trailer.
How are you?
And the road trailer. Right here. This is class of 2012. 112. Oh, we have a traffic guy walking. Is that him walking? Doesn't look like he's all the work was done by him, a 12-horse engine and 3-speed transmission. It was fundamental, says Curtis, similar to a Mr. Warren Silent Excavator.
Getting on the candies?
And this Red River Insurance. Red River Insurance. Dave Sunby.
That was my mom.
Argyle's got a couple nice tractors here. This one is a 1942 H McCormick. And Brett Shore is the driver of that one. Hello, Brett. And it's an H McCormick 1942 model, nicely restored. And then we got Mark Miller and the 65 John Deere 3020. And it's driven by his son, Ben. And nice restoration done there also. It is a 1965 3020. And he grew out in a 1960 Mustang.
Yeah. Boy, time flies, doesn't it? Yeah, I remember that. Because that was a good ride. Because, you know, I was by that little house back in there, and then I built that. Wow, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I actually asked who house that was. Because I actually thought that was where Linda and David lived, and then
You know, he passed.
yeah. Deb is here actually. He's rented Deb.
Oh, really? Well, Linda's still there.
Oh my gosh, she's such a doll.
But no, I'll leave you alone. Oh, it's good.
Where did they go?
You're getting the sales pitch for that. Yeah, we Graham paid, got cash back. Oh, did you?
Oh,
You ready for your mom's speaker picture? Oh gosh, those are my pants. I remember those shorts.
huh?
I remember those shorts.
Oh, I forgot about those. Here's our uniform. Our volleyball.
Here's Uncle Pete's.
Did you?
No.
Not at all.
Dad's.
No, Mrs. Foster
Dad's.
talked me into it. I know, I just attended because nobody else did. I came to your games.
I did not realize
I
that.
didn't play volleyball.
I forgot about these. I never liked them because they didn't stretch.
They didn't fit right.
No.
We wore these
Yes.
for basketball?
No, they were like goofy.
Yeah, just like fun stuff, pep rally stuff.
I don't remember
They
ever
weren't
having
made for
those.
those especially, right?
Huh. I don't know if I did those then.
Actually, still
Where
have
did
my
it go?
There. We all have
Come
the
and
same,
grab 'em.
we have the same, or like different variations of the same hair. Look at Stacy's. Holy crap.
Yeah. Stacy, Amy, I think had the Tammy, has Dawn. Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
have all pretty much the very quintessential 80s hair.
Oh, I don't know if I could have got it for that party that big
I
or
like
not.
how Amy has the one curl under bang thing going.
Yeah. Here's our band cardigans. I always loved those shoes.
Yeah,
The
those
cheerleaders
are
wore.
did too.
Well, this was the old one. We got the good ones. My sister got one of these.
When did your sister graduate?
81.
Well, I don't know. I wanted pie, so they might be already be in here. Yeah.